Hello everyone. This is a piece you can learn quite early in your studies. It's called Night Journey by Journey-Gurlitt. It goes like this. So, first we'll learn the melody, which is in the left hand and teaches you to be very singing in your left hand, right? It's like sinister and dark sounding left hand. So, first of all, you want to find an a D, an F, and another A, and play this D minor chord in second inversion. So here's your D minor chord right here, and we're just going to add an extra A. All right, so I'm going to play A, D, F, A. Right, we're going to play that legato. Now the only other note we need to find is the B flat, which is going to be pivoted with the second finger. And then notice we're coming right back down to the D minor chord. So A, D, F, A, B flat, A, F, D. Okay, and as we go up, we're going to crescendo, and as we go back down, we're going to diminuendo. So like this. So you can practice that, both playing it solidly, finding the pivot note. Okay, so the other thing to notice is that we use this A just to start. We don't play it twice. When we come back down, we only go to the D. And when we get to the D, we're going to take a breath and then play an F. So what just happened there? We moved down to this F, and we go F, G, A, and we have our three fingers over those notes, and then we're going to play an A octave, and then resolve on a D. So this second part goes like this. Right? So you want to learn this one section at a time, and you can pause the video and go and practice. So practice when you have the first part down, and take a breath. Breath. And then the second part. So starting on F, G, and A. So now you want to practice taking that breath in the direction of going towards the F. And what I mean by that is this. Breath. Okay, so now you have the first two parts. So now the third part starts the same way, except for now it's going to go to here. So this new part is A, B flat, C, C, and we end up on F. So here's the melody. Second part, exactly like the first part. But now A. You can practice that a few times. So now let's put the whole thing together. So here's our first part. And our second part. Okay, and are you taking nice breaths? Did you hear that? You just kind of just take the breath and go in the direction that you need to go. Okay, so now we're going to play an F chord. So to do our new part, we have to line up like this. And then our pivot note is going to be a D. So let's practice that. Here's our F chord. C, F, A, C, pivot, D, C, A, F. Okay, again. So when we have that down, we can practice the next part, which is going to be a D minor chord. But this D minor chord has two pivot notes. It has a C sharp and it has a B flat. So pivot note number 1 and pivot note number 2. Okay, so here it is again. So going from the F chord, and now our D minor chord with two pivot notes. And then remember the A, we just don't play the octave. And then G, and then we finish this. Play it again for emphasis. So here's our last part. Remember that we have this, well, we're just going to chop off this first part and not finish it. And then we're going to start it on G. And then we're going to start it on F and finish it. And then we're going to go very softly. And that's our whole left hand. Okay, so now our right hand has maybe the horse's hooves going through the night, right? And this is a third. So if you notice when I first played this, the right hand either plays the interval of a third or the interval of a second throughout. So everything in this is either a third or a second. So why is this a third? Well, a third is a skip of a note, of one note. You can also say it's 1, 2, 3 notes, right? Inclusive. A second is 1, 2 notes. So a second looks smashed together, right? So you're going to hear the power of what's called a 2-3 suspension, right? So a second is dissonant and it likes to resolve to a third. Okay, and then you have another one here. So here's our right hand. It does this for quite a bit of time. And then it does. Right, so we have D and F. We have E and D. And then we have C sharp and E. And then we have D and F. And then we have F and G, that resolves to E and G, and then F and A, and then, and look at all of these seconds resolving to thirds, right? So here we have F to G. These are just practice runs. You can just practice these combinations of notes, and then we'll show you how they repeat. Okay, so here's the first bit with the left hand. So we're going to start off with D and F. So we're going to think 1, 2, 3. Now each one of these is an eighth note, right? So each eighth note goes 2 to the beat. So if you think 1, 2, 3, 4. You can think running, 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 running to get your rhythm going, right? So the hardest thing for you at the beginning is to get one note to the left hand to 2 notes to the right hand. 1, 2, 3. So it goes like this. You can even practice slower if you're having problems. 2, 3. So did the right hand change at all? No, it's the left hand is playing its pattern and the right hand is keeping to one pattern, okay? So now let's do the second part. We're still on this first, right? So we do the F, G. We change here. Okay, so do we see that? So the second part, let's practice it. So we're on F and D, right? So we go from then E and D, so let's do the whole first part. So we're starting with F and D. I'll do it slowly. Stay on F and D, change. Okay, so we have it that far. Now here's the second phrase, where we're going to go to C, right? So this time we have to do... So we're F and G, E and G, F and A. So if we have this left hand down, where we start on A, we're going to start with our D and F. So here's the second phrase of the piece. So we've just ended on a D. We're starting just like the beginning. We stay the same. F and G. We end up on an F major chord. Okay, so now here's the F chord. Next little bit. So if you notice how we're practicing it, we're going to practice and get down one phrase at a time, right? So you need to repeat one section, right? I'll notice beginners will often practice and just practice up to where they play a mistake and then go back to the beginning. You need to practice each section, and if you practice each section over and over again, the piece will even out, right? So now we're on the third phrase. Now what I mean by the third phrase is the third left-hand melody, right? That's the one that starts on the F before you have the double pivot note, right? Where we have the double pivot note. So we're going to practice the F chord. So the right hand is A and F, and that's going to repeat and not change. So we can practice this over and over again. So C, F, A, C, pivot note D, C, A, F. Right? So practice that a number of times when you have that, and then you can try the next one. Right? So we're going to keep the same right hand through all of this, and here's the double pivot with the D minor chord. So it goes like this: C sharp, D, F, A, B flat, A, F, D. Right? So practice that a bunch of times. So we can do that one again. Here's our D minor chord with a double pivot. So let's go back to the F and put that together. So C, F, and A. double pivot, C sharp. Notice that the right hand just did the same thing the whole time. Okay, now going on. So this is the incomplete one where we do this. You can even sing words, incomplete, incomplete, and then this one completes. So here's where the left hand is going to change from this to this to this to this, and it's going to do each one 4 times. So it's F and G, second, third, second, third, second, third, third. Okay, so here's our incomplete measures, right? Our incomplete melodies, right? So we start with F and A, second, third, second, third. Remember, we're going to do A, D. So let's do from the F chord and then the double pivot D minor chord and then all the seconds and the thirds. So that lasts a little bit. So we're going to start on C. Then the right hand is going to be on F and A. Here we go. Now double pivot. F and G. And then all we have to do to finish now is to play F and G and A, right? And we're going to move to a second and a third and then just a single note to end. So here's the ending. D and E, C sharp and E. Okay, so now you're going to practice just that ending, right? So now your next step is when you've linked all of these parts together is to play it slowly and try to play the whole thing through from beginning to end. No mistakes. Probably this tempo. It's a D minor chord. Here's our pivot note. Breath. Second. Third. This time, and a decrescendo breath. We're going to C now, and then F. Here's our F major. And our D minor with the double pivot. Okay, so if you've managed to keep that all straight, you're in good shape. This is not a hard piece to play, but it's hard to keep everything straight, right? And it's hard to get that initial coordination of the hand. So now there's no tempo indicated, but you can play a little faster, right? And so you can try. Your final thing is to try to play it faster, but keep it smooth and keep it the feeling that you're riding through the night, right? So here we go. So have fun practicing. Hope this helps you, and have a great day, and thank you for watching.